He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing.
Good morning, and welcome to Story Time. Thank you so much for joining in today. Glad we're here back for another story together. I'm excited to be here with you, and I hope that you are having a wonderful time indeed. Thank you for being here. Happy Wednesday, and indeed we're back for another amazing story, and this one is called Brown. Yes, the many shades of love. And this one is written by Nancy Johnson James and illustrations by Constance Moore. And a big thank you to Constance Moore for introducing us to this book, and of course to Cameron Kids for allowing us to read this book right here on Storytime. Thank you so much for joining in. Glad you're here with me today. I hope that you are well. Please, as always, let me know where you're joining in from and who is joining in with you indeed. And if you're alone, you're still very welcome. Remember, you can find Storytime right here on Facebook and YouTube, but you can also find us on our Instagram as well as on our website at storytimewithmrlimada.com. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Glad you're here and indeed ready to enjoy this wonderful story together. Thank you for being here. We've been reading amazing books this week, some favorites that we've been going back to, some Storytime favorites that we've been going back to, and they have been amazing. And of course, today this one comes back. Brown, the many shades of love. I hope you're ready. Thank you for being here and glad you are with us. Let us see who is with us this morning, getting ready for the story. Glad you're here. And yes, indeed, Amanda West, how are you doing? Thank you so much for joining in. Good morning to you, Sarah and Nathan in Blue Sky, Illinois. Thank you so much. Yes, the descriptions are back. I love them. Beautiful indeed. I can picture that in my head. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime, and indeed for sharing your beautiful Blue Sky, Illinois with us this morning. Thank you so much for being here. Glad you're here with us. Good morning one more time, Sarah and Nathan, and of course, Amanda West. Thank you so much for joining us today on Storytime. Absolutely glad that you are here with us. Good morning to you. How are you doing today? Quinn, good to see you back here on Storytime, and you say hello, and it's always sunny in San Diego. Well, enjoy it. Out here in Oakland, very cloudy as of now and foggy too. So we'll see how that turns out and when that goes away. But for now, out here in Oakland, foggy and gray, I must say. Thank you so much for joining in though. But you all are bringing in the sunshine to me. So loving it. Thank you so much for being here. Abby Snyder and of course Quinn, good morning to you out in San Diego. Thank you so much for joining in and for bringing in your sunlight. Kiki, how are you doing, sweetheart? Good to see you. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time. Good morning to you indeed. And of course, Betty Deshay, happy that you are here with us on Story Time. Thank you so much for joining us. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. How are you doing? Yes, we're twins today, Amanda. It is gray out in Seattle, just as it is gray out here in Oakland. Baby Bia, good morning to you. How are you doing? Is it you are awake? Well, as always, early birds love it. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time. And we'll try to be quiet a little bit for Marlon and Nate. We'll see how that goes. Thank you so much for joining in. And I'm glad you're ready for today's story. Thank you so much for joining in. And I'm imagining cozied up, cuddled up as always. Thank you so much for joining in. Good morning to you. Thank you. Thank you. I see you. All right. Well, good morning to you, Marlon. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time. I think it was the music that woke you up. I am glad you're here. Thank you so much for joining us. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, good morning to you, Chriselle. How are you doing? And of course, Rocco and Clay out in Long Beach, California. Thank you so much for joining in. Good to see you here. Thank you for joining us. And I hope that all is well. And I hope that you're ready for this one. Coming back to Story Time today, Brown, The Many Shades of Love. Yes, this one coming to you from Nancy Johnson James and illustrations by Constance Moore. Good morning to you and welcome to Story Time. Oh, yes, indeed. Wanamude, how are you doing today? Thank you so much for joining in. And I hope that you are well. Please let us know where you're joining us from. Absolutely love it that you're here with us, Wanamude. Thank you for joining in. Glad you're here. And please do look out for your package. Definitely free books coming your way. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time. Absolutely love it. Oh, yes, indeed. Good morning to you, Lerato Chisomo. How are you doing today? And I am glad you made it. Yes, and the team, good morning to you, Chikondi, Temwani, and Kondwani from Chingala. Yes, Wakopala in the house. Thank you so much for joining us. I am glad you're here. I am picturing you doing the Kopala dance as well. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time. Glad you're here from Chingala. Yes, indeed. Thank you for joining us. Let us get ready for our story. Brown, The Many Shades of Love. I hope you're ready for this one. Thank you so much for joining in and indeed letting us know where you are and how it is. Thank you. Thank you indeed. Join me on the other side of this break and we'll be back for our reading. Thank you so much for joining in.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amanda Davis. I'm a children's book author, illustrator, and high school art educator. I am the author of 30,000 Stitches, the inspiring story of the National 9/11 flag, illustrated by Sally Warren Comport and published with Worthy Kids # book group. One thing that drew me to writing 30,000 Stitches was the idea that people from all different communities came out to stitch this flag and make it whole again. So I hope that when people read 30,000 Stitches, they remember the power of sharing our stories. When people came out to stitch the flag, they shared their stories, whether about loss or pain or love. We all have stories to tell, and by sharing our stories and listening to one another's stories, we can create a better understanding of each other and create a sense of connection and unity. And this is what creates a more inclusive world. I hope you enjoy your story time with Mr. Lamada. Bye, everybody.
Welcome back and thank you, Amanda. Indeed, if you have not checked out 30,000 Stitches, please do. It is a powerful book indeed. And of course, congratulations to you, Amanda, as she is a new mom. Yes, she has a little one. And yes, just thought we should definitely share that with you. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time. I hope you're ready for this one. Brown, The Many Shades of Love. And if you do have a copy at home, please follow along as we read this one. Thank you for joining in. And it is coming to you from Nancy Johnson James and illustrations by Constance Moore and read with permission of Cameron Kids. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time. Enjoy. Oh. The brown, the many shades of love. Brown, The Many Shades of Love. This one written by Nancy Johnson James, illustrations by Constance Moore, and read with permission of Cameron Kids. Thank you for joining us. My mama's brown is chocolate. It's clear, dark, and sweet. Aww. My mama's brown is chocolate. It's clear, dark, and sweet. My daddy's brown is an autumn leaf. Oh, like a field of wheat. My daddy's brown is an autumn leaf, or like a field of wheat. Brother's brown is cinnamon. It's spicy and so warm. Oh. Sister's brown like polished pine, fragrant, tall, and strong. Sister's brown like polished pine, fragrant, tall, and strong. Auntie's brown is desert sand, moving with the wind. Auntie's brown is desert sand, moving with the wind. Uncle's brown like coffee beans, a dark and fragrant blend. Uncle's brown like coffee beans, a dark and fragrant blend. My cousins are just babies, all smiles and curly hair. Two are like brown sugar. My cousins are just babies, all smiles and curly hair. Two are like brown sugar. Oh. And one a copper teddy bear. And one a copper teddy bear. Granny's brown like honey, and Papa's caramel. Oh. Granny's brown like honey, and Papa's caramel. And my brown is gingerbread. When we bake, I love the smell. And my brown is gingerbread. When we bake, I love the smell. My family has so many browns. We're different and the same. My family has so many browns. We're different and the same. I love to paint our shades of skin and give each one a name. Brown, copper, light brown, tan, cinnamon, dark brown, tea and milk, coffee, hot cocoa, caramel, chocolate, suede, butterscotch, pine, honey. Do you see your brown? I love to paint our shades of skin, and give each one a name. The end. Oh, thank you so much for joining in Story Time today. I Absolutely love that book. Thank you so much for joining in. Reminds me of my own. I want to think it's a chocolate brown. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time today. I hope you enjoyed that one. Indeed, this one is celebration of all shades of black. Thank you so much for joining us on Story Time today and for joining in this celebration with us. And of course, a big shout out to all you melanated brothers and sisters and everybody else out there too. And of course, all the allies. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time. Absolutely love that we were here together for this wonderful book indeed. And I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you were checking out yourself and seeing where you are on that spectrum. Beautiful. We are the same and different, but we're the same and at the same, we're the different and at the same time, the same. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Absolutely love it. And of course, love to hear where you are and of course, what you're up to. I hope that this kicks you off, gets your day in a good start, good vibes indeed, and absolutely appreciate the time that we spend together. And of course, always learning together with each other. Thank you so much for being here. You are beautiful just the way you are. Thank you so much for being here. Remember that as you go into this day. Thank you for being here on Storytime, but we're back again tomorrow for more Storytime, and I hope that indeed you can join us. We're bringing back another one, which is a beautiful one indeed. There is a rainbow, absolutely. This one coming to you from Teresa Trinder and illustrations by one of my favorites, Grant Snyder. So please do join us tomorrow when we're back reading this one, A Book of Hope. And indeed, wonderfully created. I love it so much. I hope that you can join us. If you don't know it, please join us tomorrow and find out what it's all about. And of course, if you know it, come back and enjoy it some more. Thank you for being here. Absolutely love it that we're able to spend time together. To everybody that is joining in, happy Wednesday to you and your loved ones. And I hope that this day is beautiful, that this day indeed turns out to be one of your best. Thank you so much for joining us on Storytime. Absolutely love it. Thank you, Amanda. And you're saying thank you for that beautiful story to start our day. Absolutely love it. Thank you indeed for your wonderful message. Absolutely appreciate you. Good morning to you one more time, baby Bia, and of course, Marlin. I hope that you are now fully awake. Thank you so much for joining us on Storytime. Happy Wednesday to you out in Seattle. Gray as it is, you're bringing the sunshine. Thank you so much for being here. Absolutely appreciate you. Good morning to you one more time. Thank you for joining us all the way out in Chingola and the Copper Belt of Zambia. Thank you so much for joining us. Chikondi, Temwani, Kondwani, how are you doing today indeed? And that's what we're going to be doing. Chikondi, all the love. We're going to be Temwaling here. And indeed, we're going to be Kondwelaling. How are you doing? All the happiness and love. Thank you for bringing it to Storytime. Thank you so much for joining in. Absolutely love it that you are here with us all the way out in Chingola, Zambia. Thank you for joining us on the Copper Belt of Zambia indeed. And it mentions in the book too that one of the browns is like copper. And one of the things that you might want to know is that Zambia's main produce is copper, and our national soccer team are called the Chipolo Polo, or indeed the Copper Bullets. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Absolutely love it. I am glad you are here. All you cinnamons out there, all you chocolate browns, caramel, everybody that was joining in, absolutely love spending time with you, and I hope that you have a wonderful day indeed. Thank you. Good morning to you, Amanda, one more time, and of course, baby Bia, and we know too that Marlin, you are up and awake and with us this morning. Thank you so much for joining in. Rikia, thank you so much for joining us, sweetheart. How are you doing today? And of course, Betty Deshay, thank you for joining us out in Oakland. Good morning to you, Abby Snyder and Quinn. I am glad that you are here joining us from San Diego, sunny San Diego today. I hope that you have a lovely day indeed. Thank you so much for joining in. Good morning to you, Sarah and Nathan. And of course, Amanda West joining us out in Blue Sky, Illinois. Thank you for being being here. I will see you again tomorrow when we're back with another exciting story. And this time we will be reading There Is a Rainbow. Join me for this one, coming to you from Teresa Trinder and, of course, Grant Snyder. And it will be read with permission of Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Much love from me, and of course, thankful for every breath that we still have every single day. Thank you indeed. Much love from me. Bye-bye.
Read me all of the stories, some with people who look like me, others very different from the way that I look and think. Read me all of the stories. Read me all of the stories, some stories from far away, others right here in my neighborhood. Story time. Ooh. Story time. Story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. He brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to hear it. Brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to hear